If you're new here, my name's Julie. I like to film makeup tutorials and do makeup style content. In today's video, I wanted to film this pumpkin patch inspired look. I know everyone's doing the pumpkin spice latte, which I do plan on filming a look for that, and a regular pumpkin spice because I have two different ideas. But today it is the pumpkin patch. So if you want to see how I got this bright orange glowy look, please keep watching. Cheers. Good morning. I am on schedule. It's Saturday morning. Today we're gonna do pumpkin patch. So I'm starting with the alfalfa glaze primer. I absolutely love this stuff. I did just wake up. I showered, I blow dried my hair, and I wanted to get on it for filming today. I kind of had a hard day yesterday. I'm gonna use the Glowish Huda skin tint, and I'm gonna mix it with the Makeup by Mario in 7C, and this is in medium tan. So I'm gonna mix those together. Yesterday was one of those days that really challenged me. Faith in the future and the ability to stay positive. It started the night before when I took a shower and my plumbing at the townhome, I am in a rental, started having some serious issues. This happened last week and the plumbers were here for like 3 days trying to fix the issue. They resolved it, but apparently not fully. So there is a bigger issue happening. And I took a shower last night, go downstairs, and my kitchen sink was filled with water again. Thank God it didn't flood my house like it did the week prior. But what a disappointment to have plumbing issues again. I do also have family in town. My mom's visiting. There's this event at the zoo this weekend, like a spooky Halloween event that we're gonna take Violet to. And she just comes to visit time to time. She did retire this year, so she's got a little bit more time to like spend with us, which is really nice. But she did come 2 days early. Plumbing issues, okay, dealing with it. My landlord's actually out of town, so I'm the one who had to like deal with the plumber. They seem to resolve the issue, but again, it's a bigger issue, so it's like a temporary fix for something that needs to ultimately get fixed on Monday, so that's gonna continue. So already I was like, I had this mindset, like today's gonna be a not so great day. It's gonna be a very hard day. And I kept saying that, you know, my mom's here, so I had someone to kind of vent to, and I just kept saying, today's gonna be such a hard day, right? Your words manifest. Well, my day only got harder. I had a few jobs cancel, which happens from time to time. I mean, that's normal. We had some equipment break with the business, so that was an expense. We just had a really expensive day for my business, and it kind of continued on. Got Violet to school, I went and picked her up from school, and as I pull in to her school parking lot to pick her up, I get an OnStar notification on my car that the fuel pump system is broken and I need to take it in immediately, urgent message to the dealership. And I'm just like, what? I just got this car, it's pretty new, like, is this serious? So I try to get a hold of the dealership, can't get a hold of them. They're, for some reason, not answering their phones, crazy busy. I make an appointment online. Okay, deal with it Monday, whatever, that's another thing. Add the Drunk Elephant Rosy Drops, just to get a little bit of a glow happening here. This is a Real Techniques little kabuki. So anyways, I am just in a mood. Also keep in mind, my mom came in town a little bit early and did not let me know, which I'm happy to have her, but this has been a reoccurring issue for me personally, where I set really firm boundaries and then people walk all over them. And that's obviously an issue with myself, not enforcing my boundaries or sticking to them, because I always put other people's feelings first. It's happened with friends, it's happened with family, more than just time, but like other incidences where I'll have clear boundaries and they will overstep them, and then I will not want to make them feel embarrassed or not want to make them feel a certain way, even though they're making me feel a certain way. And I'll always put their feelings first. So that's definitely something I need to work on. This has been a reoccurring issue for myself, and I'm navigating through that currently. I actually don't have the answers on how to fix it, but I know it's bothering me and it puts me in a really negative headspace. I am the type of person who needs a lot of alone time, especially, you know, when my daughter goes to her dad's on the weekend, like that's time for me. And I am I mean, everyone likes social interaction, but I'm the type of person that I will isolate hard, and I'm good with that. Like, I really need that time to myself to like shut in and recharge. I am a hypersensitive person, and the older I get, the more sensitive to energies I become. Like, social engagement is actually really exhausting. Some people gain energy from that. I completely get depleted, whether it's friends, family, dinner, talking on the phone, whatever it is. Like, I really recharge alone. This is the Rodial Blurring Cream Bronzer. Every week I give all my energy to my daughter, which obviously I'm happy to do. I love her so much, but when I get those moments to myself, like, those are my sacred moments. Anyway, yesterday, having a really hard time. It just seems like, you know, when it rains, it pours, like one thing after another, small things, you know, like you'll catch your sleeve on a door or stub your toe when you're already having a bad day. That's kind of what was happening. You know, I went to go pay a bill, the website was down, I had to call, they weren't answering their calls. My internet bill somehow double charged me. You know, this was all yesterday, it's just compounding. So one thing after another, and I'm already feeling really annoyed. Also, it's the full moon just passed, so for me, I am like at that point hormonally where, you know, anyways, I'm like feeling really annoyed to begin with. So we decide to go meet one of my daughter's friends at the jump place, and the parents were meeting me there and allowing me to like leave her there with them for an hour, which was so nice of them. Normally I have to like sit there the whole time, but we've known them a really long time. Violet's very comfortable with them. I obviously trust them. They were a little bit late, so that was another thing, which things happen, but for me in this day, it just kind of all seemed to be compounding. So my mom and I decided to like stick near the facility. So we went like shopping a little bit, and we went to Trader Joe's, got some groceries. Well, of course we got hurricane poured on when we were coming out, and they're paper bags. So I literally said in the car, I'm like, these grocery bags are gonna break when we get out of the car. Sure enough, that's exactly what happened. My grocery bag broke. The one glass item I had fell out, shattered all over the pavement. It was literally like soy sauce, of course, the most staining thing ever. We get back inside, there's stains all over my couch. It was just one thing after another. Anyways, my mom ended up going to spend the night, Friday night, and tonight, Saturday night, at my sister's house, which I felt really guilty about because my mom always stays with me when she comes in town. But even though I felt really guilty, I felt a lot of relief because now I had that time to decompress. My daughter went to her dad's, and I have my time. My mom's still in town. She's gonna come back Sunday night and stay for a few more days. But it was just such a reminder about how important boundaries are and enforcing them, because, you know, we can't serve others if we're not happy ourselves. You can't pour from an empty cup. Concealer, I'm gonna do a little color correcting first. This is the Toy Factory shade M1. It is a little bit too dark for me, which is why I'm gonna use it as a color corrector. This is very sheer. Let that dry down for a little bit. I was feeling really overwhelmed yesterday, and I realized a lot of it was of my own volition. Like, I was literally having a bad day, and then I kept saying what a bad day I was having. So I kept having a bad day. And that kind of ties into my next point. If you don't like what you're seeing in your life, start prophesizing your future. Now, that is a quote from Terry Saville Foy, and I will link the podcast that that's from. She just has so many inspiring messages. I just love her so much, but I apply a lot of what she says daily in my life. Before even hearing it, like, I just agree and live my life in a similar fashion. So it kind of just reinforces it for me. But that happened to be the podcast I listened to yesterday, and I was like, oh, duh, hello, that's exactly what I'm doing. Like, I got in this really negative headspace, and I just kept on with it. I kept on with it. I kept repeating what a bad day I was having, and I kept having a bad day. Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion, and this is in 2W. Just a little brightening under my eye. If you change your words, you will change your world. I really believe that. And sometimes you kind of have to lie to yourself. If I was having a bad day, I should have said, okay, this is the best day. It's gonna get better. Good things are happening. And also, like, where I put my focus kept manifesting. Like, I could have easily focused on all the good that was happening that day because it wasn't all bad. But I chose to focus in on all the negative things that were happening. And so I kept seeing more negative things. I'm really happy with my new setup though. So I was able to take the time and do this yesterday for myself, which I'm very happy about. Okay, then I'm gonna set with the Huda Easy Bake Peach Pie. I absolutely love this stuff. When I first tried it, I thought it was giving me the grandma eye. I applied too much, so I'm gonna go in with this. It has this incredible smell. It's a perfumey type smell, but it is like a very sweet, light floral smell, and it smells incredible. So I'm gonna take a little puffy triangle. I'm gonna get a lot of product on there, and then I'm going to even out the product right here on the back of my wrist, and then I'm going to tippy tap that all over the place. I'm gonna do it over my eyelids as well, so the shadows blend really nicely. And I'm gonna put this setting powder everywhere where I want my makeup to absolutely not budge. Then I'm gonna move on to the eyes. So for today's look, I wanted to do like a pumpkin patch type look. I know everyone's doing the pumpkin spice latte, which I do also wanna film. And I wanna do a pumpkin spice. I have like different variants in my mind of incorporating this pumpkin theme over the next few weeks. But today I wanted to do a pumpkin patch, and that was because of the two items I got. I got this Smashbox palette, which if you watched one of my last videos, look at this, perfect pumpkin colors. And then this Shades by Shan, it's a tongue twister, gel eyeliner. It is this gorgeous green with gold flecks, and I thought this would just look so beautiful with the orange for like a pumpkin patch. It kind of reminds me of the rind or the stem of the pumpkin. So that was my inspiration for today's look. I was having a conversation with a friend, you know, and she was having a little bit of a hard time. And we all do, we all go through it, where we feel like we're not good enough, we don't feel confident, we feel like money's not flowing. And it really is such a testament of your faith, whether that's in God, the universe, manifestation, whatever your faith is in. As humans, like, we all have faith in something. And she was doing exactly what I was doing. You know, my conversation with her was a few days prior, but she was literally doing exactly what I was doing. Just kept saying, I don't have any money, I'm this, I'm that. You know, I used to have this, I used to have that, living in the past and thinking about how awful things were, and putting her focus on all the negative when she very could have easily put all her focus on everything positive. You know, it's that small mindset shift that really changes a lot. First, I'm gonna go in with this lightest color, Salted Caramel. Oh my God, it's such a cute name. I actually love Salted Caramel. I'm just gonna go ahead and tip tap this all over my lid, just to get like a sweep of color happening. Hope the lighting is really good. I feel like in my past videos, it was like a little yellow or orange. So I'm working on trying to get like a more true color of what's going on. I got my little lamp over here. It used to be on top of my vanity. And I got this really cute candle light. Can you see that? So it basically like heats up the candle. If you're interested in it, I'll link it below. But I love that thing. I got one for downstairs too. So anyways, I'm gonna go in with, let's see, this warmer color, Honey Talks. And I'm just gonna put that right in the crease. This is kind of like my warm transition color. It's giving this perfect orange pumpkin fall color, which up here in North Florida, the pumpkin patches are open. I can't wait to take my daughter. Every year we do like a little photo shoot there, and I go down memory lane and just look at her little baby pictures. It's crazy. Everyone says they grow up so fast, and they really do. When you're in the thick of it, when you're in those 0 to 3 months, you're like, yeah, okay, that's never gonna happen. And then when you're in the 6 to 12 months, again, you're like, I'm gonna remember everything, you know, I'll never forget. You do forget. You really do. Like, going through the pictures, I forget the little nuances of her being a tiny little baby. Obviously, when I see the pictures, the memories come flooding back, but on the day-to-day, you know, there's things that like you just don't really remember. Really rich gold color. I'm gonna put that on the outer V of my eye and then blend that out. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I'm gonna go back in with that same blendy brush and just, okay, and then for like the main lid, I'm gonna go in with this super sparkly orange, which is like our main pumpkin color. That is called Trailblazer. I am gonna bring that into the inner corner a little bit and kind of drag it up. Wow. is very orange. When you're having a challenging day, give yourself some grace. Everyone goes through it, and it's so easy to slip into the negative mindset and just have it spiral out of control. You know, I am pretty good about not allowing that to happen and catching myself, but yesterday was the day. Everything was just kind of clicking in for me to have a bad day, and I did. And in the end, everything was great. You know, my daughter was healthy, I'm healthy, we have family in town, we have food on the table. You know, you really have to focus in on what's going right in your life. So, okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna take this little teeny tiny baby brush and I'm gonna start doing my lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with this mid-tone brown. And then same little brush, I'm just gonna like rub off the pigment I had on there, and I'm gonna go in with that brassier color. The shades of Shan in, what color is this even? Green tea. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of press it into the very outer corner, and then I'm gonna go in with a little tiny brush and just kind of soften it and maybe drag it out to like a very soft type wing, but nothing crazy. And just very lightly feather it out. If you're starting a YouTube and wanting to start filming, you know, I'm still very new to this, but I have learned a little trick or two. And I would say the first thing that I purchased, I mean, I already had my camera, so if you're filming on your phone, this isn't applicable. But if you do have a little camera that you're working with, the first two things I bought in addition to my camera was extra batteries and a larger SD card, because that was a continuing problem for me. My battery kept dying, and then I would have to stop filming and wait for the battery to charge, or my SD card would run out, so I'd end up deleting old footage, which I am keeping all my old footage. I don't know why. I feel like maybe if I need it in the future to like do reels or like take screenshots of, I don't really know. I want to keep it. That's my business. But anyways, I'm going in with the Anastasia brow pen. I do really like this to give like a more defined brow, because you can really do these beautiful little strokes. It just defines it and shapes it really nicely in a super natural way. I have thought about getting my eyebrows microbladed, and I did have a consultation once, but she said I wasn't really a good candidate for it, that I might want to like look into a brow lamb instead. But I don't know if that would be good for me, because I do have a lot of water exposure, so I feel like it wouldn't be worth it for me to invest in a brow lamb. I'd be having to get it done like every month or something. I don't know. Anyways, we will just keep doing what we're doing. Okay, I think that's pretty cute for now. This is the Thaler Contour. One side's a little bit warmer and the other side's a little cool tone contour. Oops. So I'm just gonna go in with this Morphe 529. First, I will go in with the bronzer shade, just pick up a little bit there. And I'm just gonna tap that just above the hollows to kind of warm up my face a little bit. Why does that side look so crazy? Okay. And I'm just gonna put it on roughly right now and then blend it out with a bigger brush, because this little guy, this is not a synthetic brush, so it really packs on the color. I do prefer synthetic for blending because I feel like the real brushes kind of disturb the makeup a little bit more, but they're really good for picking up more color. So then I'm gonna pick up the contour shade and just go in a tiny bit underneath the bronzer. Drag that down. Now I'm gonna take the Luna Magic 777. This is a synthetic brush. And I'm just gonna buff that out. For blush, the Cover FX in Spiced Cinnamon. I'm gonna take a bigger, fluffier brush and kind of blend that out. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the shimmery type shade on a bigger fluffy. And just put that all over the highest points of my cheeks to give this really beautiful glow. Okay, now I'm gonna set my face. This is the MAC Fix Plus in Lavender. It's so easy to lose sight of our faith when we're having a hard day. Truly, when it rains, it pours. And you sometimes get overwhelmed by that little voice in your head that's like, you can't do this, or you're not good enough, or you're not qualified. It happens to me all the time, and this is such a little silly trick that I learned, and I've shared it with my best friend, was naming the voice in my head, which maybe I sound crazy saying the voice in my head, but I feel like most people have that little negative voice that contradicts their dreams and talks them out of doing things. That not talks them out like, oh, this is dangerous. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, that little voice in your head that's like, oh, you need to lose weight, or you're not good enough. You know, even starting this YouTube, you know, I have a lot of doubt and insecurity, like comparing myself to other content creators, or the voice in my head saying I'm too old, you know, I should have started back in the day, blah, blah, blah. But naming that voice has really helped me kind of push it aside. So I named her Charisse, and basically when you hear that voice, you tell Charisse, sit down, go have a nap. Charisse, you're talking too much, you need to be quiet. You're in a bad mood, Charisse. And it's so silly, but it's actually really helpful because naming it kind of separates it from yourself. And I love that. Okay, so for lips, I'm going to use this little triad kit that I got in some type of Ipsy box. And this is from Louis Castro Beauty Creation. Beautiful terracotta color. I thought this would be perfect for this video. So I'm gonna do the lip liner, the matte lipstick, and then the gloss. First, the Grande Lash. This is the conditioning peptide mascara, and then I'm gonna top it off with the Tower 28. I'm gonna go in with a finishing powder. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. Finishing powder just kind of hides pores and shine. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap this in on the areas that I want to mattify and blur. Do you see the difference? Watch this. Ready? Watch. Isn't that amazing? Okay. And that completes my pumpkin patch look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see next, and thank you for watching.